Chapter 7, Part 2. Over time, I was able to forge close friendships with Mary and Janelle. Mary became my best friend. Janelle and I grew extremely close, but since she is much more reserved than either Mary or me, our friendship is slightly less dynamic and more practical, which doesn't mean I love her any less than I do my other sister wives. After Aspen was born, I started to benefit from the sister wife experience I'd always hoped for. Aspen was the first girl and a true delight. She helped restore my sense of happiness and joy. I was a mother, a wife, and equally important as my sister wives. Once I'd given birth, I began to lose a tremendous amount of weight. I guess my puppy fat was ready to melt off with the pregnancy pound, although I have to admit, I am the cutest pregnant woman in the world. One day, after I slimmed down, Cody, Janelle, and I were out shopping. We were in a clothing store. Everything was far out of our budget. Money was really tight then. It often is in our family. We have been married and had kids, but we were as financially secure as a group of teenagers. I was looking around the store and found this white French outfit I just had to try on. When I came out of the dressing room, Janelle said, "Christine, you have to buy that." I protested that it was too expensive. The outfit cost hundreds of dollars, which is more than any of us has spent on anything besides rent in our lives. It was ridiculous, but I thought I looked pretty cute in it, and Janelle and Cody clearly agreed. "I don't care," Cody said. "I'm buying that for you." Moments like this, away from the duties of family life, proved to me the possibility of a fun and tranquil plural family was indeed within our reach. We had been moving around a lot since I came into the family. I had my own place for a while. So did Janelle, but for financial reasons. Right after Aspen was born, we had all moved back into one house. Shortly after this, Mariah had given birth to their child, Leon. The house was crammed with 4 adults, 3 children, and diapers. Cody was miserable at work. We tried our best to work on all our relationships with one another and learn how to raise our children. Our close living situation made tempers rise. Cody decided we needed a change. We needed to get out of Powell. So we moved from a 1,000 square foot house in Wyoming to a 3,000 square foot house in Utah. This house was a major change for us. We had both a kitchen and a kitchenette. This meant Janelle no longer had to share a kitchen with Mary and me, something that had always been a source of strife among the 3 of us. When we got to Utah, we settled into our new, larger home. We were able to relax for a little bit. We had quite literally more breathing room. Since our children were born a few months apart, the relationship between Mary and me began to deepen. Janelle was able to get her career, which had floundered a little in the little town of Powell, back on track. This made her unbelievably happy. I had a part-time job which brought in a little essential money, but most of all, I was a stay-at-home mom. Mary and I shared a lot of the common interests with such as cooking and crafts. Since we like to cook the same sort of food, we worked well in the kitchen together. We also loved planning family outings and holidays. We ought to arrange family excursions so we'd have the opportunity to take tons of photos of the kid in different locations. We We spent a lot of time showing our children matching outfits. Around Christmas time, we dressed up kids and pile them into the car and drive them to the photo studio for holiday pictures. This was always a chaotic adventure, but well worth it. Once we moved to Utah, things began. Our holiday preparations, especially for Christmas and Thanksgiving, were intense. We would start planning months in advance. We organized meals and decorations, activities, gifts, outfits, and surprises for everyone in the family. Once we moved to Utah, things began to look up. We were happy parenting and working. It was during this period that Cody and I began to discover each other. Now that things had settled down, we had the space and the freedom to get to know each other in a deeper and more spiritual sense. We were able to start having fun, something that was essentially missing during the first year and a half of our marriage. We loved spending time with Aspen. We marveled out over how special she was to us. We spent hours playing with her, guessing the challenges we'd face as parents. We often discussed all the kids we wanted to have. We got to know each other by sharing the dreams we've had for our children's futures. Talking about the family we wanted really cemented our bond and made us remember the love that was. Talking about the family we wanted really cemented our bond and made us remember the love that was the foundation of our marriage. A year after we returned to Utah, Janelle and I had our second children, Madison and McKelty. Suddenly, there were 5 kids in diapers in one house. You would have to have thought that the chaos would have been too much for us, but the joy of our growing family triumphed any domestic issues. What really brought us together and made us more functional is not that long after we moved to Utah, Cody finally found a job he enjoyed. His new position required him to attend trade shows, one of which was in Nauvoo, Illinois. The trip would require him to be on the road for 2 weeks, towing his trailer with his materials and displays. Both Mary and Janelle had been on trips with Cody, but I never had the opportunity. When Cody asked me to go, I was over the moon. He could have taken anyone, and he took me. I suddenly felt special again. This trip was a turning point in our relationship. It was the first time we had spent so much time alone together, just us and our daughters, Aspen and McKelty. We had, in many ways, this trip was a disaster. The car overheated. We had to keep the kids cool by feeding them ice chips. We broke down numerous times, but these hardships only brought Cody and me closer together. No matter how difficult things became, I was prepared to sing songs of joy the entire way. I loved every minute of the adventure at Cody's side. Although our drive was similar to pulling a hand cart through the desert, I couldn't wipe the smile off of my face. I think Cody dug my positive attitude. Every time I glanced at him, he looked so cute and sweet. Instead of suffering in the he was being, I had loved Cody since before we were married.